So we all love to play the Italian opening as white, and in this video, we are going to learn about 5 amazing chess traps in the Italian opening that you can use to win the game easily. So let's move on to the first trap. After e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. Here you play c3, and after knight f6, you go for d4. He takes, then you recapture, and after bishop b4 check, now you go knight to c3, and after knight takes e4, you just castle here. He takes, then you just recapture, and after bishop takes, attacking the rook, you are going to sacrifice the rook and play bishop to a3. Bishop takes rook seems like a natural response, but this is a blunder because of rook to e1 check, and after he blocks with the knight, you play rook takes e7. Now here, if he sacrifices the queen, then you can just take, and you are winning. But what if he plays king f8? Well, then you can just play rook takes f7 check, king g8, and rook takes d7 is a discovered checkmate. Let's move on to the next trap. So here after e4 e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, he goes bishop c5. Then after c3, he goes knight f6, he go d4. Here he doesn't take, but instead he plays bishop b6, which might you have also faced in your games. You don't have to push the pawn. Instead, you can just go for d takes e5, enticing black to capture this pawn. So capturing this pawn seems like a natural idea, but this is a blunder because of going to d5, double attack on this knight and threatening a mate. If he captures the pawn, then queen takes f7 is checkmate, and if he plays queen to e7, then you grab the knight and you are winning. Let's move on to the next trap. So here after e4 e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, you play c3, and here he goes d6. This is the second most common move which is played over a million times. Then you go for d4, and after they take, you recapture. He goes bishop b4 check, but you don't block this check. Instead, you just move the king. And here after knight f6, developing the knight and also preparing to castle, you go for d5, attacking the knight. And after knight e5, you can just take this knight, he takes, then you play queen to a4 check, forking the king and the bishop. And then on the next move, you will grab the bishop and you are completely winning. Let's move on to the next trap. After bishop to c4, he goes d6, then you play knight c3, and here he goes bishop g4, pinning the knight to the queen. But then you play s3, attacking the bishop. If he takes the bishop, then you can take with the queen. Therefore, he plays bishop h5. Now you don't go for g4. Instead, you just play knight takes e5, sacrificing the queen. If he grabs the queen, then you have bishop takes f7 check, king e7, and then knight to d5 is checkmate. But what if here he doesn't capture the queen and he takes your knight instead? Well, then you can take the bishop, and after he takes your bishop, you have queen to b5 check, forking this knight and the king. And then you can grab the knight and you're up by a pawn and also ahead in development and you're winning. Let's move on to the next trap. So after bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, he goes knight f6, then you go d4, and after takes, bishop b4 check, you block, he takes, then you castle here, and after bishop takes c3, you just push this pawn, attacking this knight. So here he saves the bishop, then you play rook e1, hitting this knight, knight e7, then you play rook takes e4, and after he castle, you go d6, threatening to capture like this. Therefore, he takes, but then you can just take this pawn with the queen, putting some pressure. So he goes knight f5, attacking the queen. Then you play queen d5, attacking the knight. So d6 defends the knight. Well, then you have bishop to g5. And it seems like you have made a blunder because he can just take this bishop. And after you recapture, he can grab this knight and you are down a piece. Well, actually, this is a blunder because of queen takes f7, sacrificing the queen. And this is also a very common tactical mating pattern. So after rook takes f7, you play rook to e8, checkmate, and he can't block with the rook because of the pin. So if this video was helpful, then don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming videos.